How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its big spring sale right now with hundreds upon hundreds of deals. Now, this sale will be running until like April 27th, but how it looks like they're doing it is that there's going to be two waves of deals. So some of the deals are going to be ending on April 14th, and I imagine new deals are going to be cycling in. Whatever they decide to do in this video, going to be looking at games under the price of $10. Got quite a bit to go over, so let's try to hit everything pretty quickly. Alright, starting things off, Metro Redux is 85% off for $4.49, Metro 2033, and Metro Last Light. Before you buy this, you should also note that Metro the Saga Collection, which also includes Metro Exodus, that's available and on sale, I believe, for $14.99, so something to consider if you want the entire franchise. If you just want to stick with Metro Redux because, you know, it's $4.49, super cheap, great starting point for the franchise. I thought Metro 2033 and especially Last Light were both very atmospheric, very story-driven first-person shooters, and I wouldn't jump right into Exodus, I would play all the games. 2033, I didn't like as much as Last Light, but still a very good first-person shooter. Last Light, I just thought really hit home with the atmosphere. I just thought it was a great game. Would love to see these games get a PlayStation 5 upgrade. On the PlayStation 4, they run well enough. Last Light originally came out on the PS3 era of consoles. 2033 never even hit the PS3, but yeah, it's an improvement from that. And $4.49 for both games, I think is quite good. Not the lengthiest games in the world, but definitely worthwhile to go through. Next up, a deal that I've been often mentioning whenever it sees a deep discount, Xcom 2 Collection, 93% off for $7. I feel like this is going on sale pretty regularly, but what the hell, I'll give it a recommendation every time when it's this cheap, because this is a great deal. This includes XCOM 2 as well as the game's DLC. War of the Chosen is the big expansion, but you also get some other DLC packs. XCOM 2 is a tactics-based title. Not usually my favorite genre of games, but XCOM was one that really drew me in. It can get very, very challenging, but it's also a very rewarding game. The only hindrance on the PS4 is from a performance side of things, so yes, that's a bummer, but the quality of the game is still there overall, and I would say $7 is a great pickup given all the content you're getting. Definitely a worthwhile buy here, especially if you're looking for a challenging tactics title. Next up, we have South Park: This Stick of Truth, which is 67% off for $9.89. Whenever I talk about Stick of Truth, I often mention how surprising of a great game it was. I'm not a big South Park guy. Like, I watch the pandemic specials and whatnot, and I found those funny, but I watched those well after, of course, playing Stick of Truth, given that Stick of Truth initially came out in 2013, and I love Stick of Truth. You know, it was a game by Obsidian, and the comedy hit home for me. I thought the comedy was fantastic in this game, and I immediately got it. The art style is great, and it's aged very well. Obviously, if you're a South Park fan, you'll feel right at home, and fundamentally, it's a really well-made RPG, so it's got a lot of elements to like. Even if you're not the biggest South Park fan in the world, like, okay, if you watch South Park and the comedy totally turns you off and you couldn't get it, yeah, then avoid this game, but if you just have never watched South Park and you want a quality comedic RPG, I really think you'll find a quality game here, and at $9.89, sub $10, I think it's a good pickup. Next up, we have Burnout Paradise Remastered, 70% off for $6. An open-world arcade racer, has some dated elements. They haven't refined everything since the January 2008 release, and while it does look a little bit better, overall, the game is so much fun. Like, if you want a arcade crash-heavy open-world racer, you're gonna find that in Burnout Paradise. Great soundtrack here as well. Well, you know, the soundtrack can be a bit subjective, but I really dug it. Thought there was a lot of quality tracks in there. Yeah, very fun game. A lot of content as well, and it's one of those games that if you just want to, you know, zone out and have a fun time with an open world racer that you don't have to take too seriously, I really think you'll find that with Burnout Paradise. $6 for it. I think this is a very good deal. Next up, we have Doom 2016, which is 50% off for $9.99. Would like to see this a little bit cheaper. Like, if it was $5, it would be a great buy. Given that it's 6 years old, I don't think that's too tall of an ask. The game is also included with PlayStation Now, so if you do want to play it that way, that is an option. But the game itself is an excellent first-person shooter. From a single-player standpoint, I thought it was quite good. People go back and forth on whether or not they like this or Doom Eternal better. I personally like Eternal, but that's still going for a pretty hefty price point, so I would check out Doom 2016 if you haven't played either game. Again, included with PS Now, so you can check it out that way, but game itself, if you want a visceral, bloody first-person shooter, you'll definitely find that and a lot of fun to be had with that. Next up, another first-person shooter, BioShock the Collection. Actually, 3 first-person shooters. This includes BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. BioShock Infinite is my favorite of the franchise. I just thought that game was tremendous from a setting, atmosphere, gameplay standpoint. Like, BioShock Infinite, in my opinion, has some of the best FPS gameplay that we've seen out of a first-person shooter. BioShock 1 and 2 are both very good. I think most people would rank BioShock 1 over 2. But both are solid, and BioShock Infinite, again, very good, and all of them have compelling stories and interesting themes being tackled, and with the games, you also get the single-player content, the additional content, that is. $9.99 for all of those games, I think, is just a bargain of a deal. They're all very good. Again, with these games, not the lengthiest titles in the world, but still very, very good. Alright, next up, let's talk Prototype and Prototype 2. Both of those are on sale. Prototype 1 is 85% off for $4.49. Prototype 2 is 80% off for $7.99. Prototype 2 is a little bit on the pricey side. Would like to see that around the price of Prototype 1. I think most people would agree that Prototype 2 is the stronger game. With these games, they're not home runs from a visual standpoint. Honestly, I remember when Prototype came out back in 2009, a lot of people were saying that it looks like a very good PS2 game, where I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, Prototype visually isn't a home run, but it definitely has some fun gameplay, has some crazy powers, story's interesting, and I think for $4.49, it's a solid pickup. Prototype 2, even better, but I would play both the titles if you're interested. They definitely are a little bit dated, but I still think you'll have a good time with them. Next up, Wolfenstein, The New Order, 60% off for $7.99. Great first-person shooter here as well, a little bit more heavy on the story front, and of course, we do have subsequent releases, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Old Blood, Young Blood. There's a lot of Wolfenstein games. The New Order is a great starting point, and it's actually got a decent bit of content for a single-player first-person shooter, and a pretty good story, as I mentioned, as well. Also included with PlayStation Now, so you can play it that way, but $8 for the game, I think is quite good. If you want all the content in one go, they do have the Alt History Collection, which I think is like $19.79. That's on sale as well. That includes New Order, New Colossus, Old Blood, and Young Blood, so it's a very, very good value-filled deal. So if you want all of it, that is an option as well. Otherwise, base game, or the first game I should say, for $8 is pretty good. Next up, one of the most underrated PlayStation exclusives of all time, Gravity Rush 2 is 50% off for $9.99. I thought this game was tremendous. I loved Gravity Rush on the PlayStation Vita. Gravity Rush 2 literally improved in every way from the original. Obviously, this one was built ground up for the PlayStation 4, so that's kind of to be expected, but you got that great art style, you got a good story, you've got quite a bit of content, and great gameplay as well that transitioned very nicely from the Vita controls to the DualShock 4. Just a fantastic game. We'll probably never get a Gravity Rush 3, unfortunately, but I'll be singing this game's praises until I'm dead or off YouTube forever, but yeah, it's a fantastic game, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you like more artsy titles, if you like the art style right off the bat. The music is great, soundtrack is excellent, gameplay is pretty good as well, as I mentioned. Just a fantastic game, and a $9.99 great pickup, also available through PlayStation Now. Another game on PlayStation Now at $9.99, Borderlands The Handsome Collection. Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel with all of the game's respective DLCs. I'm currently going through Tiny Tina's Wonderlands right now, so I thought this would be a notable mention. I'll give my thoughts on Wonderlands in a different video, but the Handsome Collection is great. Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel are both very good games. Borderlands 2, in my opinion, was the height of the Borderlands franchise. That's my favorite game out of all three. If you want to include Wonderlands in there, whatever. But Borderlands 2 is excellent. You get the DLC, and it should be noted you are missing one piece of DLC, Commander Lilith in the fight for the Sanctuary. That's not a big deal, but yeah, Borderlands 2 is excellent. A lot of replayability. Borderlands pre-sequel is just kind of like a smaller extension. I shouldn't say smaller, but really more of an extension that has a lot of the similar gameplay elements. What's not broke, don't fix it, as they would say, but Handsome Collection for $9.99 is a great value pickup for the amount of content you're getting for sub $10. I think that's a great, great deal. Next up, a deal that I mentioned recently from the Deluxe Edition, but Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, the base game, is now $9, so that's, a very good deal. I've talked about this game quite a bit, but one of the most underrated soundtracks in literally any gaming franchise. Fantastic there. Great action flight gameplay. Story is whatever, but for $9, it's a high-quality title that I would definitely recommend. Has some interesting content as well, VR component, all that good stuff. And at this price, definitely worth a buy. And lastly, this honestly might be the best deal across the board. Batman the Arkham Collection is 85% off for $9. This is just a tremendous deal. It includes Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight Premium Edition. That includes the additional content for Arkham Knight. All three games are very good. How you want to rank them it's subjective, but I like Arkham City the best. Probably would rank Arkham Asylum as number 2 and then Arkham Knight number 3. Some people like Arkham Knight the most. They're all really, really strong games. I even kind of dug the Batmobile sections in Arkham Knight, and from a story standpoint, I just thought Arkham City was really, really good. And overall, all three games are excellent. I was not a big Batman guy growing up. Like, I liked Batman, but the Arkham games were definitely my strongest introduction to Batman as an IP, so yeah, take that for what you will. As you guys have probably noticed watching these videos, I'm not like a huge superhero guy, although, you know, that's been changing over the last 6 to 9 months, getting more so into it. But yeah, Batman Arkham is just fantastic, and if you've never played the games, or maybe you played the first two and you want to revisit them along with Arkham Knight, whatever it is, if you just need to get all three games in your collection, this is just a fantastic, fantastic buy. If you own Return to Arkham, or you already own Arkham Knight, obviously, then buy the games individually. Return to Arkham often goes on sale for like $5, and then Arkham Knight Premium Edition goes on sale for like $8. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer where the collection is just $1 more, so whatever. It's a great deal. If you need all three games, it's an excellent pickup, so go check it out. But that's going to do it for me again. A ton of great deals available right now in the spring sale. If you guys aren't going to pick anything up, no sweat. You guys know the deals are going to be running all the time. 2 weeks from now, I imagine more deals are going to cycle in. And then, you know, before you know it, June's going to roll around. You're going to have days of play. And then before you know it, fall's going to roll around and you're going to have, you know, the holiday sales, winter sale, all that stuff. So, you know, time's moving very fast these days, but that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.